together all in one place for you to enjoy.
It's whatever kind of adventure we want it to be.
Get it all with Spectrum TV.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app and free with your Spectrum subscription.
I'm Sharon Tazwell. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. New details after a fire at a Swiss ski resort bar left dozens dead and injured more than 100 others. Authorities believe sparklers on champagne bottles came too close to the ceiling and likely caused the blaze. Investigators are looking into whether the bar complied with fire regulations, including necessary access to fire escapes and fire extinguishers. Witnesses say it was chaos.
That screaming, it was horrible to hear parents who lost their children, all young children. It's a place for young people because it's cheap.
The FBI says it thwarted a potential New Year's Eve terror attack in North Carolina. The suspect is accused of planning to use knives and hammers to execute a deadly attack at a grocery store and a fast food restaurant in support of ISIS. Authorities say the 18-year-old made multiple social media posts that call for the extermination of Christians and Jews. The college football semifinals are set. Number 6 ranked Ole Miss will take on number 10 Miami after defeating Georgia in a Thursday night thriller to win the All-State Sugar Bowl. And on the other side of the bracket, 5th-ranked Oregon defeated Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The Ducks will take on number 1 ranked Indiana, who defeated Alabama in the Rose Bowl. And that is a look at your Spectrum News in 90.
It is time for a look at your weather on the ones. I'm meteorologist Alan Auglis. I am tracking rain and thunderstorms for the southeast on Saturday. Some could be severe with wind, hail, even a tornado. Rain and snow will continue for the west this week and the potential for flooding into northern California. And overall, a milder pattern is shaping up for the country next week. I'll get to the details coming up this half hour.
We're learning new details about a deadly fire at a Swiss ski resort bar during a New Year's party. The blaze left dozens of people dead and more than 100 injured. And now investigators believe they have found a cause. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Tazwell. Authorities say sparklers on champagne bottles came too close to the ceiling and likely caused a New Year's disaster. And as our Chris Welch reports, authorities are now looking into whether the bar complied with fire regulations.
A grieving father on his knees outside the scene of the New Year's Eve fire in the Swiss Alps, holding on to hope that his missing son might return. Officials have confirmed the deaths of 40 people, though they warn families the process of identifying the victims will take days, if not longer. 119 more were injured.
We wish to remind you that a number of wounded people are today still fighting for their lives. Many of the people taken in are in a life-threatening condition.
The hospital's director says the average age of the injured is about 20 years old, and he says that could be a helpful factor in what, for many, could be a months-long recovery.
It requires patience, but it's not without hope. They are young, and that means they still have a lot of vitality.
The crowd was celebrating inside the Constellation Bar when about an hour and a half into the new year, a fire broke out. The chief prosecutor says they now believe the fire started with sparklers in champagne bottles, similar to those seen here in a video on the bar's YouTube page, that then came too close to the ceiling, which led to what fire experts call a flashover.
Flashover is where everything in the area is burning and untenable conditions has been achieved.
Stephen McKenzie is an independent fire consultant.
And no one survives flashover without grave or mortal injuries or succumbs to the fire effects.
Everyone was banging on the windows and stuff, screaming. It was like a horror movie, but they couldn't get out. I think the windows were too thick. People fell on each other coming out, fully burned.
At least 11 Italians were inside the bar. The country's foreign minister speaking to reporters at the scene Friday.
The use of fireworks is ridiculous in a place like this. It seems truly irresponsible to me.
Prosecutors are now looking into whether criminal charges could be filed against anyone associated with the venue.
If this is indeed the case and these individuals are still alive, an investigation will be opened against them for negligent arson, negligent homicide, and negligent bodily harm.
I think it's a reminder to all of us to always appreciate life, because it can happen even in Crans-Montana, where, not in a million years you would imagine that this would happen.
Chris Welch, Spectrum News.
Cleanup efforts once again underway in California after more flooding in the region, and officials are warning about potential mudslides. Meanwhile, part of the Southeast is bracing for some potentially severe weather this weekend. Our meteorologist Nate Harrington is tracking the latest weather threat. And Nate, crews in California are racing to clean up before the next storm hits. What can you tell us?
Yeah, this next wave of rain, unfortunately, just going to dump even more unneeded rain for folks in California. This is pictures from San Diego on Thursday. They're just not used to how much rain they got in a very quick amount of time. They picked up just over 2 inches of rain on Thursday. And if you can believe it, that's about a month's worth in the month of January in just one day. So very stressful for all the first responders and folks that just are not used to this kind of heavy rainfall. Now, more is headed their way through the weekend, including Friday, Saturday, Sunday, wrapping up on Monday, thankfully. But unfortunately, they're going to see another 1 to 3 inches of rain in a lot of spots along the coast. The hills and the mountains could see 3 to 6 inches of rain. And then the wind gusts, 20 to 40 miles per hour with some 40 to 60 mile per hour winds. A lot of different hazards, and they're all very familiar to folks in Southern California and really the entire state. Mudslides, rock slides, debris flows from the burn scars from earlier fires in the year, strong flows in waterways that haven't even flooded, so rivers and creeks and streams are going to be overflowing, unfortunately, and the high risk of downed trees with all those winds. So that's in California. On the other side of the country, in the southeast, from southeast Alabama, southern Georgia, and South Carolina, severe storms, damaging winds, and tornadoes will be possible on Saturday, too. So a very busy first weekend of 2026, Sharon.
Yeah, sounds like a messy weekend, too. All right, meteorologist Nate Harrington, thank you. In Washington, Congress is gearing up to return to the nation's capital with expiring health care subsidies front and center. Lawmakers also face another deadline to avoid a government shutdown. Our Ruben Jones is in Washington with a closer look at what we can expect to see on Capitol Hill to start the new year.
We're demanding a vote today on extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Today, not tomorrow.
That call for action to extend the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies in December fell flat. House Republican leadership pushed the vote to after the holidays and after the subsidies expired. Democrats and a few Republican House members signed a discharge petition to force a vote on a 3-year extension. That will likely happen this coming week, as members of the House will be forced to vote on the issue that's divided Congress for months.
Doing nothing is the worst outcome.
As of now, with no agreement on subsidies, millions of people are set to see a double-digit increase on their monthly insurance premiums. It's why Democrats forced a government shutdown this fall, demanding Republicans take a vote. And while the 43-day shutdown may have ended in November, another one could be just weeks away. Congress has until January 30th to fund the government, giving them little time to pass numerous appropriations bills not yet approved. This comes amid a shrinking House Republican majority that narrows this coming week as Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns her position.
I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have.
She joins more than 50 members of Congress who have announced they won't seek re-election next fall.
Republicans face headwinds in November as they aim to keep control of the House. Democrats
Democrats look to do the difficult task of taking back control of the Senate. Now, the issues likely to take center stage in the campaign season include affordability and health care. In Washington, Reuben Jones, Spectrum News.
A terror attack foiled in North Carolina. Everything we know about the suspect accused of plotting a New Year's attack inspired by ISIS. Just ahead.
At Spectrum Noticias, we recognize that our community is vibrant and diverse.
Spectrum Noticias delivers balanced coverage of the stories that matter in our communities and across the country.
Our journalists are based in the neighborhoods we cover, ensuring you get in-depth reporting on what's happening in the places we call home.
So join us at Spectrum Noticias. We're always on, always there for you.
Now available on your TV. Check your local listings. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Spectrum TV, isn't that only live TV?
No, it's only all my favorite streaming apps with live TV.
Okay.
It's only all included at no extra cost, and that's the magic of math. Will this be on the test? Sure, why not?
It's only one simple payment for all our TV. We gotta simplify and win. Winning is equally important.
If not, more so.
Yeah!
Only Spectrum TV, fixed TV.
Being a cowboy, I don't know anything different. I had a very successful career. Life was fast. I was preparing physically. I wasn't doing anything mentally. And then I got hurt. I dug into mental health. I wanted to be better as a person. I start my day with a workout. I live life 8 seconds at a time. Find a place to stop and just breathe. Love your mind.
I'm Sandra, this is Jorge, and we were adopted in 2019. I remember when they first came to us, Michael was already a teenager. The whole cliche of they're so lucky to have you guys, and it's the other way around. They have changed our family for the better. They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Welcome back to this round of your Weather on the Ones. Meteorologist Alan Ogles here. Rain and storms for the southeast on Saturday. Out west, it's rain and snow with the potential for some flooding in California this weekend and cold temperatures for the northern tier. But the southeast, some showers to start off your Saturday into the Carolinas, into central southern Georgia. We start to pop up some storms into southern Alabama as soon as midday. Also southern Georgia, southern South Carolina, and northern Florida. Now the evening, a cold front will clear the coast, so things will start to calm down Saturday night. But there is a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe storms for portions of the southeast. Wind, hail, even a tornado not out of the question in these locations for Saturday. Then towards the cold, we're tracking some light snow into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Michigan on Saturday, not amounting to much, but then a clipper system that's going to dive in from the upper Midwest by Sunday evening into Michigan Sunday night, early Monday morning. 3 to 6 inches of snow for central and northern portions of Michigan expected. Also looking at winter storm warnings continuing for upstate New York, and even lake effect snow warnings around Syracuse, where they've seen feet and feet of snow. So we look all the way into the beginning of next week. Notice a swath of that 3 to 6 inches for the upper Midwest into Michigan, and all that snow that will continue to pile up, especially around Syracuse, with another foot to 2 feet of possibility. We look at the temperatures, the cold weather locked up through the Great Lakes, the northern tier. Look at New Orleans, 76, not bad on Saturday there. And then into Sunday, still chilly across the northern tier. The Plains very warm, even Denver into the mid-60s on Saturday. Into early next week, the warmth for the Plains. We'll talk more about the West Coast coming up.
Here's Here's what you need to know. Authorities believe sparklers on champagne bottles came too close to the ceiling and likely caused a deadly fire at a Swiss ski resort bar during a New Year's Eve party. Investigators are looking into whether the bar complied with fire regulations. And a federal judge ruled Friday the man accused of placing pipe bombs outside the Democratic and Republican National Committee buildings in 2021 will remain in jail until he faces trial. Prosecutors argued Brian Cole Jr. would pose a danger to others if he were released. Cole has yet to enter a plea to the charges. That's what you need to know. The Trump administration is giving Minnesota officials a deadline to provide information about providers who receive federal child care funds or risk losing millions in funding. In an email sent to child care providers Friday, facilities have until January 9th to verify information about recipients receiving federal funds. The move comes after the administration announced a pause on child care funds earlier this week to require facilities to verify their legitimacy. A House committee will hold a hearing next week to discuss allegations of fraud in Minnesota. Relief in North Carolina as the FBI says it thwarted a terrorist attack which was planned for New Year's Eve. Spectrum's Alex Cohen joins us now with more. Authorities believe plans for this attack were about a year in the making. Alex, what more can you tell us about it?
That's right, Sharon. Apparently, the plan was to attack both a grocery store and a restaurant, this in support of the Islamic State. Authorities announced that they have arrested an 18-year-old named Christian Sturdivant of the Mint Hill neighborhood near Charlotte, North Carolina. They've charged him with attempting to provide material support to a terrorist organization. Authorities uncovered knives and hammers under his bed, as well as detailed notes about this potential attack, which was believed to have been targeting Jews, Christians, and LGBTQ plus individuals. U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson announced the arrest at a press conference this morning. Let's take a look.
It was a very well-planned, thoughtful attack that he had planned and that was fortunately foiled here. He was preparing for jihad, and innocent people were going to die, and we were very, very fortunate they did not.
Authorities added that they believe this young man was radicalized online, mostly through TikTok videos, and that the FBI was aware of him since 2022, when he initially made contacts allegedly with ISIS. At the time, there was a potential violent incident involved there. His family intervened, however, when that happened, Sharon.
And Alex, this wasn't the only New Year's Eve plot that authorities were able to disrupt, correct?
That's correct. Our viewers might recall that a couple weeks ago, the FBI made a similar announcement about thwarting a plot to take place on New Year's Eve. They arrested 4 members of a so-called anti-capitalist and anti-government group. This group was reported to be planning to attack 2 U.S. companies with improvised explosive devices, otherwise known as IEDs. These suspects were arrested here in Southern California and were said to be part of a group known as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. They were detained in the Mojave Desert as they were allegedly unloading bomb-making materials. And Sharon, one of those suspects was arraigned earlier today.
All right, Alex Cohen, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
A professional violinist is suing actor and rapper Will Smith and his company over allegations of sexual harassment and wrongful termination. Brian King Joseph worked on Smith's global tour last year. He claims he was fired after bringing to light a, quote, sexual threat of violence made against him. While on the tour in Las Vegas, Joseph alleges someone entered his hotel room to leave a handwritten note among other items. The items included wipes, a beer bottle, a backpack, HIV medication, and hospital discharge records with an unknown person's name on it. Smith's attorney has denied the allegations. Olympic hopefuls set to compete next week in the U.S. Figure Skating Championships held in St. Louis. We're on the ground with a look at the excitement building around the event. Just ahead.
The stories that touch our border affect us all. That's why at Spectrum News Plus, we don't just cover these communities. Our dedicated reporting team also calls them home. That perspective allows us to take an in-depth look, going beyond the politics, to see the impact on people's lives and what it means for you and your community. Balanced border coverage that tells the full story here on Spectrum News Plus. Available on all your favorite devices, exclusively on Spectrum.
It's only a hike. It's only made possible by Spectrum Business connecting healthcare providers of all sizes. Like hospitals relying on the Spectrum Fiber broadband network with industry-leading reliability. Practices keeping patient data safe with advanced security. Pharmacies accessing records in the cloud without fail. It's tailored connectivity solutions built for life-changing moments. It's only a hike. It's only everything. Spectrum Business.
There's nothing quite like the feeling of going to the theater. Onstage celebrates that excitement every week by taking you behind the scenes with the latest news and in-depth interviews of the hottest shows on and off Broadway. So grab a seat, because this is a show you won't want to miss. Join us Saturday nights at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central for Onstage.
Onstage is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate your journey.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first, we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Nice to see you again here on Spectrum News. I'm meteorologist Alan Ogles. A pretty busy weekend across the nation with showers and storms in the southeast, perhaps some of them becoming severe. Rain and snow continues out west with flooding a possibility into California. Temperature-wise, it's pretty mild for the plain states. Looking at the futurecast in the morning on Saturday, notice all the rain, showers up and down the coast from Oregon, Washington, down towards Southern California. The Sierra Nevada seeing some heavy snow. Rain will continue into Saturday night, also into Sunday morning for California, Washington, Western Oregon. And notice it will continue right into Sunday evening as well, with that heavy snow bumping up into the Sierra Nevada mountains. We are looking also at the potential for severe weather, a pretty rare case of it, into Northern California, Sacramento to Redding, seeing a level 1 out of 5 risk. The chance there for a few tornadoes, so be aware in these locations. Also, we're watching for flooding into northern central California through Monday afternoon. Flood watches are in effect. Just look at the rainfall. This goes through Sunday. Many locations over 1 to 2 inches in central northern California, including San Francisco, all the way towards LA as well. The risk for flooding does continue. And then into western Washington, western Oregon, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected this weekend. Then we talk about the snow into the higher elevations of the Rockies, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall expected. But you see the white there into the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. Some spots could get over 4 to 5 feet of snow in the higher peaks. Temperature-wise across the country, it's chilly for the northern tier into the upper Midwest. Only 20 in Minneapolis on Saturday. Chicago, it's cold. New York City as well. To the south, not bad. 50s for Atlanta, 60s for Dallas for this weekend. And then look at Denver. You're talking 60s for highs all the way into Monday. Now we look ahead towards the 7th and 11th of January. Temperatures way above average for the eastern half of the country, slightly below average for the southwest. It looks like we may dry out a bit for California, but wet weather expected for the Mississippi Valley, the East Coast, and also the South.
Firefighters in Rhode Island rescued a dog that fell through a thin layer of ice covering a pond. Take a look. Authorities say the yellow Labrador named Phoenix was on a walk with his owner. The firefighters put on ice rescue suits to help get him out of the freezing water onto an inflatable rescue boat. Phoenix and his rescuers made it back on shore safely without injuries. Local fire departments have declared this a successful first call of 2026 and reminded dog walkers ice on ponds is never safe. The eyes of the U.S. figure skating world will be on St. Louis next week. That's when Olympic hopefuls will fight for a spot on U.S. team heading to Italy next month. Chris Rogers shows us some of the excitement that's already building.
It's tremendously special for St. Louis to host this event, and the bonus for us is it happens in an Olympic year, which is outstanding to actually be able to be on the road to the Winter Games and have the U.S. Olympic figure skating team selected right here at Enterprise Center.
As the new year sets in, the Sports Commission and the city are ready to take St. Louis to new heights.
There are more cities that are bidding for events like this, but for them to come to St. Louis, they understand our value and they understand our worth, not only to their sport, but to sports in general.
Ahead of next week's festivities, the commission hosted an ice skating clinic for kids at the Kirkwood Ice Arena, where even the coaches can't escape the buzz. Twin sisters Corinne and Hannah Brazier have attended many figure skating championships together, and they're excited to see their hometown get the nod this year and to work with kids in the build-up.
And as coaches, it's really exciting to me that my skaters I coach are going to be able to go actually watch these really fantastic skaters in person and hopefully be inspired by that.
It's really important getting kids on the ice and giving opportunities like this so more people get the opportunity to try skating. Essentially, skating's, I think, such a special sport.
The commission's foundation director says pouring into the next generation is the foundation to building on an opportunity like hosting the figure skating championships.
They're the opportunity to do all the things we couldn't. And they're also the opportunity to do the things we weren't willing to do. So to pour as much knowledge and wisdom and experience into them as we can, and then let them literally change the world, is what all of this is about.
If we can host championships and that inspires some young kids to pursue the sport, and then one day St. Louis produces an Olympic figure skater out of this event, that would be tremendous.
While the professional ranks will be at the Enterprise Center, some of the amateurs will be competing at Centene Ice Arena in Maryland Heights. Here in St. Louis, Chris Rogers, Spectrum News.
A historic week in college football, setting up for a fantastic finale. The quarterfinals providing 2 classics and 2 statement wins. On Wednesday, Miami upset second-ranked Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl to secure a place in the semifinals. The Hurricanes will face number 6 Ole Miss, who won an incredible back-and-forth Sugar Bowl over number 3 Georgia Thursday night. Now, on the opposite side of the bracket, Oregon completed a shutout over Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The Ducks will take on number 1 ranked Indiana, who dominated Alabama at the Rose Bowl in California. Oregon and Indiana are looking for their first national title in team history. The Hurricanes are seeking their first title since 2001, while Ole Miss hasn't won a title in over 60 years. I'm Sharon Tazwell. Thanks for watching. Your Spectrum News in 90s coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
Friday nights, The Big Deal with Errol Lewis, where Spectrum News' local political journalists break down the most important issues shaping our nation.
Here's the deal. People need a place to explore national issues that have an impact on their community. To understand those issues better, we're bringing together our team of local political journalists from across the country to break down what's happening. So join us every week to catch up on the key stories making a big difference across the nation and in your local community.
Watch The Big Deal with Errol Lewis Friday nights at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Spectrum News Plus. Available on all of your favorite devices, exclusively on Spectrum.
It's only a slice. It's only made possible by Spectrum, connecting businesses of all sizes, like small businesses, instantly serving up orders and inventory on the Spectrum Fiber broadband network, and factories, seamlessly connecting to farmers in the field with tailored solutions that always deliver. It's only a slice. It's only everything. Get your business free fiber-powered internet forever. Call to find out how.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful. And it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News Plus, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News Plus, exclusively on Spectrum. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app. Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app.